Hey guys, what's up? It's Apollo here. Hope you guys are doing well and welcome back to another online battle of Napoleon Total War. Today we're going to witness a 2 versus 2 and we're going to see two Sultanate factions working together here. So we have the Ottoman Empire led by the Rhine King, and I'm actually leading Sweden over here. So we're going to be working together against the mighty, the powerful British. We got two forces from the United Kingdom. So yeah, it's going to be a tough fight here today, but I believe with our strategy and our tactics, we can pull off a miracle here against such a powerful opponent. So let's go ahead and do some normal speed here. I'm going to turn on the mini map so you can see exactly what's going on. So we are rushing for the center of this map. We just want to go all in and we want to take this town. We feel like if we take this town, then we're going to have great control over the battlefield. And even if they flank around us, it's going to be fine because there's so many buildings we can get in here. We can set up defenses and we're going to be able to hold whatever the British send at us. But it's all about defeating the British in this town. And it looks like the British are here for a fight as well. He's got his Highland foot pushing for some buildings. Looks like they're going for a farmhouse. See what else? Yeah, he's going for the farmhouse. Where it looks like he was gonna go in it, and then he decided not to. Which is oh wait, no. He's got. Yeah, he was, but I think because of our artillery, we can easily knock down these buildings. So he's not gonna commit his forces in the buildings because if he. Oh no, he is. Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about. But that's really risky because we do have 2 units of artillery. Look at that. Already at 53% damage from a couple shots. So I assume he's going to get his men out of there as soon as possible. The Rhine King already pushing up some credit rifles or jetted rifles, I believe is how it's pronounced. Also, his general's really close to the front line, so he's got to kind of watch out for that. He's pushing really hard on the left side, and the British artillery is already opening fire on our position. Now, again, I have horse artillery, so I was able to rush them forward, but he's got 5-inch howitzer here, and that's fine because he's using this really good high ground to support his army, and he doesn't need to rush them forward. But the Rhine King taking a nice aggressive approach here. This building is getting hit, but thankfully, it hasn't taken any damage. And if we kind of do some slow motion here just to kind of look at the battlefield before it gets too saucy, too spicy for us. So we got the British with a pretty sizable force. I mean, that's probably 50 to 60% of his army pushing to this flank. The Rhine King did not really intend to see so many British on this flank. I don't think he has enough troops to take them on, but I think he is going to try to delay him with his camel gunners and try to slow him down from outmaneuvering, outpositioning us over here. And you can see he's dedicating even more line infantry to support that side and hopefully hold against that very large flanking British force. I've got my lights now on the front line. You can see I'm chewing up his Highland foot. I was so glad. Let me do some normal speed. I was so glad that he was committing his Highland foot to this front line alone because I was going to be able to pick him off. And it's a really good unit. Just like that, they break from the battlefield, and that's looking really good. So that's good. Now, the Rhine King does have some swordsmen. Remember, the Ottomans have very good close-range units, so we're going to have to be very aggressive going into melee as quick as possible. Again, I'm setting up my lights here, being very aggressive, trying to push them back, trying to use the range of my lights to defeat his line infantry, because he does have some lights. He's got some rifles, I believe. Yeah, he's got some right here. But they're not set up, so I'm definitely going to win this engagement against his forces, which is great. Now, the British do have 3 units of foot flanking around our position. You can kind of see on the mini-map how they're on our side. So what I do here is I actually take this farmhouse, and I'm going to use it to hold this flank. I also have my elite guard forces getting into position who are also going to defend this little pocket here that they can go through. Now, the British make a good move while I'm focusing on that flank. He charges in the King German Legion Dragoons right into my lights. And it takes me forever to respond to this. And I'm trying to tell the Rhine King, like, hey man, can you send your swordsmen over to support my skirmishers? And I feel like at this point in the battle, we're trying to fight so many areas that our micro is suffering dearly. Because, you know, we've got this fight going on. I've got my cav committed over to this side trying to run down lights. Now I'm sending back one of my Hussar units. I have 3 of them. back over to this fight to support my poor lights who are just getting chewed up. I charge my own lights. I mean, this is just a clumsy mess here, and I'm just not executing my plan properly because of this clumsiness. Ryan King now sending in his Janissaries as well. And unfortunately, I lose a lot of rifles there against that one single King German Legion charge, which is really, really disappointing. So that was a huge loss for us, but after seeing that, I was like, okay, no, I need to get my line infantry in here, and we need to push these British out of this town. I'm sick of this. We've already lost so much, and we're losing the battle already. The balance of power is not looking great, and it just seems like our opponents are just outmaneuvering us at this point of the battle, and that if we're gonna win this, we can't sit back and just hope that our troops can outshoot theirs. It's not gonna happen. We're gonna have to take the battle by the horns, so to speak, and bring the fight to the British with bayonets and the swords of the Ottomans. So that's what we're gonna try to do here. So my artillery's firing in the back. Artillery position not great because they're not on a hill. They don't really have a good vantage point. So little disappointing there. It looks like one of my cannons got glitched out. The artillery, man, can get a little glitchy. It's real frustrating. But yeah, we're holding over here. There are some British putting some pressure down on the Ryan King. He's doing the best he can. I'm keeping my Cav in reserve back here because he keeps harassing with Cav on this side. Also, we've got some British Cav right behind us. Look at this. Look, if you see on the mini-map, they are behind us. Whenever this happens, let's do some slow motion here because it's about to get pretty intense. Whenever you have a unit behind you like this, you've always got to remind yourself about this unit. Never get tunnel vision and focus on one thing in front of you. You've always got to be... Sometimes I like to make the mini-map this big while I'm playing, so I always see that Cav unit, and if they start moving in, I can respond. And sometimes I pretend I don't see it. That way he'll commit his forces, and then I'll quickly, react to it quicker than he expects, and I'll take him out. But I'm not going to make the mini-map that big because we're watching the replay. So yeah, that's why the Ryan King's forces are kind of stacked up like this, because he's so focused on this fight over here, which is not going well whatsoever. He's basically taking on 2 players as we speak, and that's a very difficult thing to do. So yeah, that's why we need to just get the British out of here. My lights have pretty much been defeated in one charge. That's really impressive from the British player. One charge, taking out my lights, essentially. Not all of them, but most of them. I'm pushing up my elite lifeguard afoot. Again, these are the backbone of my army, the heart of my army. I'm dedicating them to over here because I don't like these guys looking over here. I really want them to go away because we are getting ready for this charge. It's going to be a pretty big move. Now that I see that he's moving up his lights, I think it's time for us to push forward. Oh, and look at my artillery. Look at that. Artillery firing at my own men. God, I didn't even realize this was happening when I was playing the battle live. What a disgrace here. Real clumsiness. And that's kind of the thing you have to deal with when being so aggressive. Microing is really, really important. You got to be able to micro effectively. And you got to hope that you can control the battlefield but not injure your own army. Look at that. And unfortunately, another clumsy mistake here by us. The Ryan King runs his general in front of my artillery, and his general dies. So you can see just like, how rusty and clumsy we are on this situation. And it's not going well. It's not playing out right. And we're going to really have to pull off a miracle here to win this one. So the Ryan King falling back his Janissaries, getting him behind the building here, again, because that artillery and stuff. I hate seeing my artillery fire and constantly hit the back of my men. I wish I was paying attention to that, but that's just the kind of the small things that you don't realize until you watch the replay and you're like, Jesus, what was I thinking? But yeah, you can see that the Ryan King had to fall back here. He's pretty much lost the ground over here, which I think is fine. We don't need to win over here. We just got to prevent them from hitting us too hard. And here we go, guys. This is it. This is it. We're moving in for the kill. We're like, okay, we're losing this battle, and we can't sit back, because the more we sit back, the more we're just losing. So I'm running forward. I'm trying to get off a volley here. My Swedish forces are pushing in. The Ryan King right behind me with the swordsman. My cav moving in as well. I go in for a charge, and I get these guys by surprise. They do not form square, which is good. Unfortunately, the troops over here do form square. He's got some foot. And here we go. The Ryan King going in for the kill with his Janissaries. So I need to quickly get my men up there as well. I'm trying to fire a couple volleys. Now I'm setting up the 2 units that have the Ottomans in front of them. So I'm going to send up my line infantry, try to support my ally in this struggle. You can see his Janissaries are struggling there a little bit, but my reinforcements should support them and get their morale to spike back up. Cav charging in as well, but that's okay. My infantry's there just in time. I've got my cav now charging over to this front as well, trying to take out, I believe, the British lights. He's got some rifles over here. So you can see this is turning into a really big mess. It's a bloody fight. And also, there's still a very intense line battle going on. There's actually a little bit of a line fight going on over here where you can see the British are now moving in. They're trying to go for the kill, but I've got units waiting for them. I've got my 2 guard units lined up here. I'm going to line them up a little bit better. I've got a unit in the house, and I've got another extra guard unit that has pushed forward to support the fight over here. And here we go. How's the melee going? It's going, guys. It's going. We're trying to hold on for dear life. We're trying to quickly break one of the British armies. And here comes the Ottomans from the rear, trying to clean up the cav units here. And just like that, we break the cav units, but we've got to move quickly. We've got to go to the next line unit. You can see they're forming square, which is not a terrible idea. But I'm going to go ahead and push in this next unit. Charge! Here comes the Ottomans. Howitzer shells firing down on our position. And my lights, my line infantry have taken many casualties here. But I still have a healthy number on the flanks and my guard units. We do outnumber them in terms of troops here. So I'm going to push forward and push hard and start picking these guys off while our melee is going in deep. Going in deep. Some of the troops firing their guns point blank. That's awesome. There we go. We're going to keep pushing now. We've got to. We got them on the run. Fire. Come on, break them. I think I was microing elsewhere. I think I didn't realize I defeated them there. We're also getting shot from the rear over here. He's got some foot trying to pick us off, but we just got to keep moving. We got to keep moving forward. There we go. We're breaking another unit. And then I've got even more Swedes coming in to support. You can see the British are giving up on that position. I'm also moving up my guards, or eventually I'm going to move up my lifeguards. There they go. They lost a lot of men. Damn. Not good. But we have completely shattered that British front line. Excellent. So now we've got the high ground. We are getting hit hard with the artillery, but we've got the high ground. We're going to try to use this high ground against them. Back over here, unfortunately, we've fallen back. We're having to fall back here because we've committed so many troops over to the side. And I'm trying to line up to get a couple shots here. My lifeguard are taking heavy losses. See if I can get a volley here. There we go. So I get a couple shots. Again, we do have the high ground, but we are kind of outnumbered, outpositioned, because he's got some British line troops. He's got some foot kind of flanking our position, you can see. Well, he doesn't have a great angle to our men, but he could easily push them up and surround us here. So we don't want to over push. And this is where I get a little careless. I'm like, you know what? Keep it going, damn it. Let's keep charging forward. Send in the foot. Send in the line infantry. Break the Highland foot at the very least. We've got to do something. And you can see it's not turning well. My troops are just exhausted. They have broken about 4 units of line infantry. And just, I don't know if they can carry on like they are. So yeah, you can see that I'm losing that fight. The Highland foot are just too strong. They're too healthy. They have 83 men, and just like that, we break. And at this point in the battle, I think that we decide to give in. Like, not give up the battle, but like stop pushing so aggressively. We did do a lot of damage, and I feel like I felt like at the time that we lost less than they did, but we still lost a lot of men in that push. So now what we're doing is we're gonna fall back and reform with our artillery. Look, we pushed. We were aggressive as hell. Now it's their turn to be aggressive. We're actually gonna fall back. I'm gonna limber up my artillery, and I'm going to set up a defensive position. And you can see my men are falling back right now. I really wish the artillery had limited ammo. Oh, look at this though. I forgot about this, guys. I completely forgot. Let me do some slow motion. My cav here. I had like a unit of hussars who was able to sneak around enemy forces. I actually took out an artillery piece over here. Somewhere, yeah, I took out this artillery piece, right? While that epic charge stuff was going on. I took out this piece. I flanked around. They didn't even see it coming because they're so focused on that charge. And then I hit this artillery pretty hard. I didn't completely defeat this 5-inch howitzer, but I killed the horses, so they're not going to be able to move this artillery piece. Now, unfortunately, my men are breaking here, but the hussars did what they could, and we took out 2 pieces of artillery. Unfortunately, the balance of power has not budged. It's still pretty much the same since the beginning of the battle, so that's not a good sign. But it does feel good to take out a couple artillery pieces because I feel like we now have the advantage in artillery power. But we'll see how that progresses here soon. So yeah, this is where the battle kind of dies down a little bit. We're gonna fast forward here a tad bit, not super fast. I still want to see you. I still want to show you guys what happens here in our plan of attack. Now it looks like we're defeated here. It looks like we're falling back. And we've got to rely on terrain and more of a defensive strategy to win this battle. At this point in the battle, I'm down to, I think, 3 units of lifeguard. Or no, 2 units of lifeguard, 1 line infantry, my general, and 2 artillery. That's it. Because I was so careless at the beginning of the battle that I lost my lights. Classic story for me. The British are still pretty strong here. But not like unstoppable. I feel like we can beat this force. They don't have their artillery. Well, actually they do. They have a 6-pounder horse artillery, but they lost the other artillery. They're pushing hard on our flank, but here's the thing, guys. Look at this army right here. They are super far away from their allies, right? Are you guys getting where you guys understand where I'm going at here? I'm going to do a little Napoleon strategy here, and that is when the forces are divided, you unite your forces and concentrate all your firepower on one force. Once you defeat that one force, then you switch and go to the other force. So it's kind of like taking on the armies one at a time rather than them grouping up and fighting together. So yeah, they're still pushing hard, and the more this army pushes, the further and further away they're getting from their ally. And look at what his ally does here. Look at this. They are moving around this hill, this mountain area. That is insane. So not only is his teammate getting further away, he's now getting further away. And that's going to buy us time to unite and attack in a push. Because look, this is how this is going to play out. Me and the Rhine King, we don't sit back. All right, we don't sit back and defend. When we see an opportunity, we go for it. And now we're concentrating our forces. We're getting ready to take on one British force at a time. And if we can take out this army without losing too many men, oh, it's over. It's over, because then we're going to be able to quickly recover and turn and face the other army which is going the longest way possible. So anyways, let's I think pretty soon we get started here, so let's just fast forward a little bit. I pretty much explained our thought process through this. So yeah, we're now, yeah, here we go. Okay, so this is the point where we're like, okay, we need to push and we need to take out this British force. So that's what we're doing here. The Ryan King still has 3 units of cav, some depleted, some strong. That's fine. I still have the line infantry. He still has a couple line infantry. I mean, he's got more units, but I feel like my units overall are healthier. He also has his 2 units of artillery. So we still are stacked, guys. Look, he's got some Ottomans. Duh, he has Ottomans. He's got some Grenadiers. That's going to be great for close range. I had to... Unfortunately, this sucks right here. This is just... My artillery glitched out. It's a weird area, and I told them to unlimber. And the artillery's just stuck here, and they won't fire at anything. So I basically lost 1 piece of artillery doing nothing. You know, it's just the game broke it. So what I decided to do is, because the British are going through this gap right here, it's a narrow gap, I decided to move my last artillery piece and focus their fire over to this other side and try to soften this British force, or at the very least slow them down while we kill his ally. So we've got to hurry up though. I've got my men running now because the British are making some good ground. When I say British, I mean this British force over here. So they're making some good ground. The balance of power is way in their favor, but this is it, guys. Like, this is our only hope of winning this battle. We've made so many mistakes, but we can redeem ourselves right here if we can pull off this strategy and if we can take out these British forces with pretty good numbers. But yeah, the Ryan King's moving in already. He sees an opportunity. He's got his Janissaries and his Musketeers going into the fray against rifles. And let's see if he can get there without them. Yes, he's going to get there before they can get off another volley. They're trying to retreat, but he is going to get some kills. And he's going to then push on to the light infantry that are right behind. Look at that, right through this forest. And they're ready to take on these British. That's great. Now I'm trying to rush forward because you got to fight together. I can't let the Ryan King go in alone. So I'm pushing up my 3 units of line infantry. I'm going to take some casualties. But I've got to close in the gap. I've got my elite lifeguard. I've got the 1 unit of line infantry. My general is nearby, keeping them inspired, keeping the morale high. Ryan King also moving over small units to support my fight. And here comes the cav, but unfortunately, he is ready for that cav charge. I think the Ryan King probably should have charged this unit up here, since I have them stuck in a firefight. He's got his camel gunners trying to support me, though the hill doesn't really help there. Artillery now shelling the British. And I'm just trying to give them all. I'm just trying to give them hell, man. Now the Ryan King's setting up his musketeers. They gotta fire and support. It looks like the British are holding quite well over on this side, which is not good. Not good at all. And now here comes the camels. And here, yep, this is where the Ryan King goes in for the artillery. He's got a Scipii cav going in. And that's going to be a huge victory there, taking out their artillery piece. And now the camels are firing at the flank. And I think pretty soon, we're going to have to push aggressively. Now the camel gunner is about to open fire again. These guys are pretty nasty. Let's see what they can do here. See what they do. Come on. Come on, fire, guys. Oh, they're going for the general. Yeah, we're trying to snipe out the general. Here we go. Here comes the bayonet charge. Here comes Sweden. Oh, no, I'm actually going to get a lot closer and fire. There we go. I'm trying to take out his rifles. And now the camel gunner's going in for a charge. I think he's trying to take out the rifles as well. I think he's actually sending troops over to support his side. Unfortunately, a lot of Ottomans fell over here, so we're not able to win on that flank. We are winning in the center, though. And we just got to push. We just got to get aggressive here. I don't know what's... I think... Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm like, what am I doing? I need to charge in. Like bayonets. Let's go. A lot of the British forces are tied up, fighting in melee. There we go. Charge! Charge! Okay, I think I'm getting a little bit closer. Maybe I'm going to pop some shots here. Come on. Fire. Some of them still reloading. There we go. Ottomans have broken through. The British are on the run. Where's his allies, though? Unfortunately, charging our artillery. We are using canister shot. We did miss some. I did get a couple good canister shot hits over here, but unfortunately, we missed that. And the British are now taking out our artillery, which is fine. It's not a huge deal because they only have one artillery piece. Let's see if the Ottomans can land one more. Come on, quick, guys. Like, I love how they, like, are taking their time. I wish they would. Ah, no. It's too late. They couldn't get one more volley off, and they're trying to slow down the surrounding British here as we continue to try to kill off this force, which we are, but it's taking much longer than expected, and we've lost so many men in the process. And the balance of power is getting worse and worse. There we go. The British going in for a charge here. Let's see if the Ottomans can hold. They're outnumbered for sure. British going in with the bayonet charge. I gotta quickly run over here. And when I say quickly, I mean quickly run. I gotta save my teammate, my ally. My artillery is running. They just cleaned up the glitched out artillery, which really sucks. If I had that artillery actually functioning, imagine how many more canister shots I would have pulled off there. Unfortunate. Now we got the generals fighting. My general's going in for the kill. We got to try to take him out. This is the British Army's last stand. And there we go. We kill his general. And his bodyguard will surely break here against the might of Sweden. Oh my god, that looked terrible. Okay, so there we go. We defeated them. And there we go. We defeated the British Army. But what do we have left? Not enough. That's what we have left. Not enough. And why are you wasting your shots on retreating British forces, you scum? Save your ammo. We have bigger fish to fry. Fish and chips over here. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units here. And an artillery piece. And another rifle unit. Very, very large army. A very huge army. And now, I mean, honestly, guys, we felt pretty hopeless here. And we're like, okay, there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do. What we're going to do now is go for this slope. There's some stakes here set up. I think these are enemy stakes, so I don't even think it's going to work against their cav anyways. But we're going to set up here, hold this hill. Hopefully, it's very unlikely, but hopefully the British will charge us. And using this high ground, you know, maybe they'll underestimate us. And instead of using strategy, instead of using his lights, and instead of using his artillery, he's just going to mindlessly charge us. And we're going to win that way. I know that's really hopeless, guys. I know. You know, I know that's not likely, but that's our only hope. That's all we can hope for. Crazier things have happened in Total War. That's why I love this game. When you think you've got victory and then it's ripped right away from you. But yeah, that's our only strategy we have in this situation. So once again, we're gonna fast forward because this is a little bit more of a just, you know, marching a little bit slower pace. They are running after my line infantry, so I need to get these lifeguards out of here. So if you could pick up the pace, Apollo, please, like, get your men back into position. So you can see my general is now moving out. Again, this is another desperate strategy, but I'm willing to do anything. I'm actually leaving my general and moving him out to take out the artillery. I'm going to try to take out this artillery, and then I'm going to move and take out this artillery piece. If we can take out their artillery pieces, we've got a shot. And you look here, the British have now moved their artillery, or I'm sorry, their general to their artillery because he sees what I'm doing. He knows what I'm doing, and that really sucks because I was hoping I'd get him by surprise. So since, let me do normal speed here because it's about to get juicy. Since he saw me going for this artillery, that's when I decided to move and just take out this one. Because this artillery is pretty much dead in the water. But I was just like, you know what? Might as well take it out, even though it doesn't really affect our battle. And he's just like randomly firing, I guess at retreating troops or something. I don't know what the hell he's doing, but I'm going to take him out. Just get him out. Charge! Kill them all! And that's one less artillery we had to worry about. So there we go. And you can see here that the British are not doing what we wanted them to do, which is be mindful, like just mindless charge, try to take us on. Because I think we would win if they mindlessly charged us. And I think he realizes that too. And that's why he's not playing like an idiot. And he's even falling back some Highland foot to support his artillery, because this is what he's going to do here, guys. He's going to set up his artillery and shell us. That's what it's going to come down to, guys. Us getting shelled to death. And I took out this artillery piece. Now what I'm going to do is hope that he gets tunnel vision and focuses too much on this fight. And maybe I can sneak in a general charge. So I'm just going to get my general like behind a building and try to hide him. And just see how that plays out. But yeah. Oh no, he's actually moving up the howitzer. And that's when me and the Ryan King, you know, Ryan King has 1 unit. I've got 3 and a general. And we're just like, oh my God, he's going to shell us to death. This is all that's like, we're just thinking at this point, we got to charge again. We got to be the aggressor again. Because we don't have the tools to sit back and beat them in a faraway skirmish. We've got to bring the fight to them. And that's it. That's it, guys. This, against all hope, against all the odds, we fight. We charge, because this is our only hope, our only chance of victory. We're moving in. Here we go. They're already opening fire. Their rifles chewing us up. This is it, the glorious last charge. I'm going to go ahead and hide the mini-map. You don't need the mini-map anymore. You know what's going to go down. It's going to be settled right here, right now. Ryan King moving up his Janissaries. Watch this. This is hilarious. Ready? And dead. But he absorbed a lot of ammo for me, and that's it from the Ryan King. And there we go. I'm gonna stop here, get a volley off, and look at their morale is going down to orange. They are taking on my elite forces, which is really good. But I'm so outnumbered. But I'm not gonna win in a gunfight, because even though my units may be better because they're lifeguards, they're outgunned. It's not very hard to aim and fire your weapon. It does take some skill in reloading it quickly in the heat of battle, but that's not how, you know, the game, everybody reloads about the same rate in the game. So I've got to charge in. They just shot a pretty big volley there, so I'm going to try to close the gap. My men are wavering, they're thinning out, but this is our last hope, guys. We're going in for the charge for Sweden. Charge! Charge! And we close the gap. The artillery, you see that howitzer? He actually hit his own men, and it breaks his own men. The howitzer, because we closed the gap. And look at this, we break another line here, and we're pushing over this way as well. This fight's a little bit closer though, and it's a very, very close fight, but we've got to keep pushing forward. We got to keep moving. Unfortunately, one of my lifeguards' foot break here, but I'm going in. I'm going to keep charging, and at the same time, my general's still waiting for an opportunity to take out this artillery. And look at this, we're charging, and the British are running, they're running against a smaller number of Swedes. What disgrace, and we're chasing them down. I know what he's doing though, I know what he's trying to do. Unfortunately, he was able to hold the ground over here, and I have 1 unit of lifeguard left, and I'm chasing down the rifle, trying to get them off the battlefield. Now I'm going to switch targets and go for this rifle unit over here. Come on, charge. Get him out. Now at this moment, I charge in my general because he's so focused on my infantry charge. He's not paying attention, and I take out his artillery, and I'm turning this battle around. Damn it. I'm going to turn this battle around. But yeah, I'm taking out the artillery. This is the 5-inch howitzer. He still doesn't realize I'm taking it out, and it's too late. It's gone. It's gone, and I'm going to avoid its general, and I'm going to support my line infantry that's fighting the great big fight up there, whose morale is still hanging on, but just barely hanging on. They're surrounded by lobsters. I've got to get my general. Here comes my general to the rescue. Come on, general. Charge. Save your line infantry. Break the British. Let's do this. Take them out. Hold, lifeguard foot, hold. General, save your men. I'm using Inspire. I'm doing everything I can to keep my men in the fight, to never surrender, to never give up. Unfortunately, my general dies there, stabbed in the gut by a bayonet by these lobsters. And that's it, guys. That's the battle. But damn it, the Swedes went out yelling and screaming, and that's all we can hope for. And I for a second I thought we were going to turn that around, but it just wasn't enough. And you can see that me and the Ryan King, we didn't do terrible. We got about the same kills, but we just were sloppy at the beginning. We tried to recover from at the end. I think we had some moments of coming back, but we couldn't pull it off, you know? We just couldn't get it done. And a good game to J Big here, getting the most kills. He was actually this British player. And then good game to Marshall Lama, getting 893 kills. So it was a really close game, down to the wire. You wouldn't think that, though, at the beginning of the fight. You would be like, oh, this is over. The Ryan King Apollo, they're done for. But I felt like we recovered, just it wasn't enough. And it's kind of hard. Oh, at a certain point, it's just kind of like you can't recover, you know? You just, no matter what you can do, you can't pull it out. And I think we were just in that situation where we couldn't do it. But my lifeguard foot leading the way in kills. Line infantry close behind. Hussars getting 68 kills. My artillery probably killed more of my own men than theirs, which is really sad. But what can you do? A tough fight. A really, really tough fight. I feel like what we should have done, the Ryan King should have committed all of his forces in the center, not fight over on this flank. It's hard to see, but this flank over here, we committed and we rushed much sooner than we did. And then also, if my artillery didn't get stuck and bugged out over here, we would have had a little bit of a better chance. Not much. But yeah, that's going to wrap up today's battle, guys. These Napoleon battles have been so thrilling and so exciting. I really haven't had this much fun playing a Total War game in a long time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully, we'll have more Napoleon content out in the near future. Thank you guys so much. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like. Press F to pay respect to the Ottoman forces here, the Sweden and the Ottomans. So thank you guys, and I will see you next time on the battlefield.